Okay, so in this next example, you're going to see some problems where you have to write an expression that's a product as a sum or maybe a difference of trig functions. And we're going to use our product to sum identities to do this. There's one in particular, product to sum identity, that has a cosine times a sine, cos A sine A, or cos A sine B, and we're going to use that identity to do this. So the cos A, 85 is A, and sine B of 140 is B. And there's a 2 hanging out here. Well, that 2 I'm going to keep hanging out there, but this product is actually equal to 1/2 times a quantity of the sine of A plus B, which is 85 plus 140, minus the sine of the difference, 85 minus 140. Right? So it's a sine of 2 different angles. Now we just simplify in every place we can. So here, 2 times 1/2, those cancel. The sine of 85 plus 140, you add those up, you get 225. So that's the sine of 225. And then 85 minus 140 is a negative 55. So that's minus the sine of negative 55 degrees. Now, we could use an even-odd identity to simplify this further. Just double check and make sure I did that right. Yeah, okay. We know that the sine function is an odd function because it has origin symmetry, right? It's an odd function. And so we know that with odd functions, that f of negative x equals negative f of x. And so with the sine, we know that the sine of a negative angle is equal to the negative of the sine with a positive angle, okay? And so this negative essentially can be pulled out of the sine. So the sine of negative 55 is equal to negative sine of 55 using our odd identity here. And so that negative, along with the subtraction that's here, is a double negative, which produces a plus. And so this is equivalent to the sine of 225 plus the sine of 55. Okay? The sine will do that with the negative. You can pull the negative out of a sine, but not a cosine. Right? Sines and tangents you can do that with, but not cosines. All right? And this is our final answer. It's now the sum of 2 different trig functions. I don't know, I can't really evaluate that. I could actually evaluate the sine of 225 because 225 is a 45-degree angle in the 3rd quadrant. But the sine of 55 is not one of the angles here. 55 is not an angle on our nice triangles, our special triangles. Couldn't think of the word. And so I can't really evaluate this one. It's not part of the goal of the problem, though. This problem, we just want to express it as a sum. But sometimes you can get these to simplify further. Okay, not every time, not in this case, but in some cases you can.